Yeah, I'm Ashley Jones, MD of Star Minerals.
Ash, it feels like things have really shifted for Star over the past few months. How would you describe where the company is right now?
Yeah, fast moving, even for me. Yeah, lots of things have happened in the last few months. Got our final mining approvals through to the government. We signed a really important agreement to get our material treated through Plutonic Mill with Catalyst. Sold some tenements, and so we're cashed up. And most importantly, as of the other day, I'm not sure who follows social media, but we've got trucks heading to site, and we're clearing and we're gearing up to actually take some dirt out of the ground.
And looking into the mining activities, what's been the biggest change internally as you're moving into the mining period?
Yeah, just that realisation that we're going into something, so a lot more risk management from the board point of view. We've brought on a mining engineer to supervise it from our side. So the conversation's really changed in the office itself. It's suddenly your exploration, you're full of ideas. Now it's like knuckling down to we're going to achieve something here, and that's really it's a different mindset, but it's a really important mindset.
You've partnered with Mega to execute the mining. How does that model work in simple terms?
Yeah, in simple terms, we're at a bit of a crossroads. You could either, to fund this project, and it's a small project, we could either go out and go to the market or a bank and say, look, we need another $10-15 million, and we could dilute our shareholders. And we're only $10-15 million market cap, so your shareholders would be diluted by half. So this group has come in and said, look, we'll take half of your profit, but we'll fund the entire thing. So our shareholders remain in exactly the same position they would have been in. Our register's tighter, but most importantly, we don't have the risk associated with it. So when you've got a small project, it's you've got one big cyclone that comes down, you've got a flooded pit, you're offline for a month. Then you have to go back to the bank, you have to go back to shareholders, where all that working capital is solved. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get 50% of the profit. That's the essence of the model, and I think you can grow out of that, but I think that can help us leverage ourselves for quite a while yet with that group, and they seem willing to do that with us, which is good. Built on trust and and now execution. That's where we need to work together.
What gave you the confidence to go down this path?
Yeah, obviously we saw they were doing a couple of other deals, but after meeting the guys, realising who they are and seeing them do 3 other projects as well. Like we took a while. We had an MOU with them for quite a while before we signed the final deal, but they've come on market. That gives you confidence as well. They bought on market from 4% up to almost 9%. They've been diluted a little bit from the Catalyst deal that we did, but they're still just under 9% hold of us. That gives you confidence as well. Like somebody's willing to part with their cash, come on board, take that risk with you. So and dealing with the guys, they're easy. It's Indian money driving it, but that's West Australians mostly in the office, and all those guys have worked in this industry for a long time. So they've got some really good people.
How aligned are you with Mega in terms of the outcome?
Yeah, they are our biggest shareholder, so they are aligned on that front. They came on market from 4% and bought up over 9% of the company. So that's really important. So they're aligned on the corporate front. Being a 50-50 profit share, they're aligned on maximising the ounces and the profit out of this. So I think that's really important as well. They win just as much or more on getting more ounces out of the ground and sharing it that way, rather than just on the mining contract, which is quite set. So I think we're very aligned, and also from another front, aligned on working together in the future and looking at new projects.
On the processing side, you've locked in Catalyst. How important is that?
It's really important locking in a deal to process your material and exits and gold. So that was an amazing deal for us. It was a bit of a we had something they wanted, we wanted something from them, so it was a natural deal. We've sold them the West Briar tenements for $2.75 million, and we got a really good deal on processing of ore. So we see that as a really exciting development. They also came in and took a placement of $1 million, so they've put I think they're a 7% shareholder now as well. So that aligns up again. They want us to succeed. So processing it, doing that, working together, we can both work together, and we see we can use them on a number of fronts. I think as a major shareholder, and they've offered some of those kind of support services, advice as well, and opening some doors. So I think again a really good deal for us, and really supportive shareholder.
Can you walk us through how ore moves from the pit to gold production?
Yeah, so we'll mine it. Obviously, we'll mine it quite quickly. The deal we did with Plutonic Catalyst is, we have to deliver so much per quarter, and then we process it. If they've got extra capacity, they'll put more through, which is we're hoping that's going to happen. But so we'll move up. We'll move plus 35,000 tonnes up to their mill. It's about a 200 plus road trip on a road train, and then that will be put on their ROM. They will shut down their plant and put a bit of material through it, and then we'll process for a minimum of 7 days all our material, and then they can go back to their material. And they've got capacity in their mill that they'll run higher, the throughput higher when they've got theirs, and then so it all wins for them as well. So they'll make money on the processing cost. It'll reduce their overall costs for themselves as well. So it's a great outcome for both people.
What are the next key milestones investors should be watching for?
Yeah, the next milestones are really going to be production orientated. We're working on the final mine plan, so we're going to try and get that out to the market. We've been running on a scoping study so far, and that's just really, we've only just finished the grade control drilling. We've done some more development drilling, so it's a short project for us, so we want to maximise and get it out of the ground. These satellite projects have always been quite hard. The limited size, you have to get it out while the gold price is high, otherwise they're going to sit in the ground for the next 20 years. So we're working hard just to move it. So we're mobilising to site now. We'll have a drill rig up there probably in the middle of May, then first blast, and then obviously first pour, get some gold out of the ground. I think those are some major milestones that you'll see. What
needs to happen between now and first gold?
Yeah, we've got to finalise some operating parameters as we go. We're going to sign off on the final ore schedules. Obviously, safety's forefront in our mind with now becoming a producer. So I think there's a lot of compliance issues that we have to go through. But a lot of that's been held by on the mega side. So they've done that before, and that's the team. I think it's just really knuckling down to make sure it happens. And there's things in our control and things out of our control. And we can probably touch on that later. Fuel, wars, gold price. But we want to move on that. And so it really is just knuckling down, getting everything squared away, and starting to dig some dirt.
How confident are you in the ore body as you head into mining?
Yeah, we've just finished some grade control. So we're working on that model at the moment, finalising it. Costs have gone up. To be honest with everyone out there, everyone knows that. But and that will change the way we mine it. I'm sure. We're going through that process. But the gold is there. The drilling didn't. It came out where we drilled in between other holes. We got gold. So the gold is there. We just need to now work out where those cut-offs are. How much gold we can process at what cost, and some of those costs are a little bit variable, but the deposit's there, the gold's there, and we're going to mine it.
What have the recent drilling results told you?
We've just had some more recent ones just the other day. We've got a small indication that there's a bit more ounces to the southwest. Probably focus on that, get that modelled. I think we announced that last week, so get that modelled and really understand what we're going to do there. I think we've got another grade control program coming up. We're going to put some more holes in it at that stage and see if we can add it to the whole inventory of the project.
There's a lot of focus on costs across the sector, diesel, labour, etc. How are you thinking about managing that?
With difficulty. There's some things you can manage and some things you can't. I think when this first started, there was nobody signing long-term diesel contracts. there was a bit of panic then, but now they've got some diesel on site and it looks like it's abated, but we don't know what's going to happen in 2 months' time. That's a risk we're willing to take at the moment, and as I said, we're a little bit risk-free in the fact that Mega's taking that capital risk, but it is. We're not going to be alone on that. It's going to be what it's going to be, but we're taking the view that let's get it out. Let's mine until we're stopped. And yeah, gold price and diesel price and all other costs, even explosive price of fertilizer is going up. And if it's over in 2 weeks, it'll come down. So those variable costs they will hit us, but and it could be the other way, could be positive.
Gold prices are strong. How much leverage does this project have to that?
Yeah, we've seen some amazing gold price runs. It's gone up to almost 7,400 at one stage. It's back at, I'm talking Australian dollars, it's back at 6.766. So there is movement for it to run another 800. That's within the realm of recent activity. So cross your fingers and it runs up again. But it has come back based on this Middle East problems, and it's been pretty flat for a long time. So it really has been driven by global uncertainty. So I think without getting too much into geopolitics, but I think there's going to be uncertainty for a little bit longer, so the gold price should stay up there for us to get this out.
If you had to summarise the Star story today in a sentence or two, what would you say?
In a sentence or two, we've made a good decision to get some good collaborative contracts and associations to make this project work at the right time, at the right people in the right place, and that's how we can then leverage off those relationships into the further growth projects and make a growth story out of this company. And
what excites you about the next 6 to 12 months?
First thing is some revenue. That will be a bit of a change, but yeah, some revenue out, and I think we're moving on to the next thing. What is Star going to be? It'll be finding the next project. We've sold our exploration tenements, so we're going to look for another near-term production asset.
What do people that don't know anything about Star want to know about a 13 million market cap company in a time where gold prices are high?
Yeah, we've got 13 million market cap. We've got it well over 4 after that in the bank and with Catalyst shares at the moment. So our EV's even lower than that. We're moving into production, so we're looking at a revenue stream. Obviously we had a scoping study that showed we'd make $20 million at 3,800. Both costs and gold price have gone up, but we're aiming to get multiples of that and see where we go. So without obviously JORC code, but we need to get those numbers out to the market and then mine it and then actually make it real.
Before we wrap up, what's the key takeaway you want investors to remember?
The main things are we've got a good team. We've done some great relationships, some good deals, I believe. And then I think there's opportunities to leverage both with Catalyst and Mega. We could go into another project and Mega will assist as a major shareholder to take up working capital. Again, keeping our shareholding tight and our growth story quite real for shareholders.